So I really want to talk about the rapid value cycle, right? And how the different frameworks work together to enable business leaders and data analytics leaders to do a few things, right? It's really about identifying where my challenges are and my weaknesses in my value creation cycle. But it's also about having a roadmap for success, right? And we'll talk about the different components. And as you're listening through the components, and as Jean and I talk through it, think about your journey, your data analytics journey as an organization. Think about where you've got weaknesses, and jot down some notes on how you can improve, right? So really the first step in the journey in the rapid value cycle is about identifying and forecasting the right initiatives, right? If I'm not identifying the right initiatives, and all we're doing is identifying initiatives that generate or that will generate indeterminate value, you're not going to just magically create determinate value, right? You need to find the right initiatives, the right opportunities in the organization, the right strategic objectives to connect to in order to give yourself a chance of generating determinate value. And then forecasting that is often a challenge, right? Because we hear that argument from data analytics leaders a lot. Yes, but it's impossible to forecast the value out of that. No, it's not, right? And then if you can't forecast the value, then should you be doing the initiative in the first place, right?
Yep.
That's your first filter. That's your first indication to know that this is probably an initiative that's going to generate indeterminate value. A determinate value initiative, like a customer churn analytics initiative or a product optimization, pricing optimization exercise, or a revenue assurance exercise, those sorts of initiatives will naturally generate determinate value. And that's really what you should be going after, right? The next step is, once you've identified these and you forecasted them, it's really about having those investment conversations, right? And that's where the 5 R's come in, right? We're not going to go through them in detail now. You can pick up the book and you can get all this information. But it's really about making sure that we've got the readiness in the organization. If you're in organizations that's a little bit smaller, you've got leadership challenges, things like that, you don't want to necessarily embark on this journey too aggressively. You've got to have some readiness there, and there's a way to evaluate that. You need to have a ringleader, right? Somebody in the senior realms of the business that can help you to support the journey. You need to have you need to show a result, right? An early result to motivate for the investment, so that you can get the leadership on board. Then you need to have that roadmap in place, right? How am I actually going to do this? How am I going to combine these value driving initiatives with the foundational capabilities that I need, and what delivery resource requirements do I need in order to achieve this? And then you need to have an ROI. If you can't produce an ROI model, you're going to struggle to get your CFO to approve this, right? Now, once you've got that investment buy-in and you followed that framework, maybe that's where you're struggling, right? Is you're struggling to get the investment. Apply that, right? Then the next part of it is really the part that we find that a lot of organizations tend to be quite comfortable in, which is the capabilities that you need. It's the people that you need, it's the processes that you need, the approach that you need in delivering insights, and it's the technologies, the platforms, the tools, etc. And then it's the data, right? Getting that data trustable, getting the data quality right, all of that. So we're not going to talk too much about that. There's a chapter on each of those in the book. Great frameworks to follow if you're struggling with that. But that's generally where we find organizations are pretty okay, because they can generate actionable insights. If you can't, then follow those frameworks, right? But then the thing that pops out of that pipe now in the cycle is this actionable insights, right? And generally, when we come to this point, we get all excited because now we can see the customers that are going to churn in the next 90 days, and the data team celebrates because, wow, the model's working and everybody's happy. But then that's where the wheels fall off, right? And the trouble there is, how do we now embed those insights into business processes and into IT applications so that we can really drive that measurable value? Because those actionable insights on their own don't produce value, right? You have to embed them. And we find that a lot of our customers are able to do that. So large organizations especially, 1%ers most definitely, because they're able to make the investments, which means that they must be seeing some value, right? And so they're doing the embedding. They're taking the churn model. They're able to embed it in the retentions department. They're driving those predictions. They're creating campaigns that the retentions team is phoning through, and they're actually able to see the uptake in revenue, or the uptick in revenue from those preemptive or predictive churn campaigns. But that really takes that data value architect to become involved, right? To make sure that when I get to actionable insights, that I'm actually able to embed that. Now, the final piece is where we find that most companies struggle, and that's that tie back from the value that we're generating to, remember, at the other side, right at the end of the cycle, and at the beginning of the cycle as well, you've got the CFO, right? And what is your accountability now towards the CFO? How do you get him excited about making more investments? Is you have to build into your products, into your capabilities, and into your processes, the ability to measure, to attribute, and then to routinely publish the value back, right? And so that capability is really, really important. If you don't do that, you're going to end up with really good identification of insights. You can forecast. You've got the investment that you need. You've got all the capabilities to deliver that, people, processes. The technology and the data's fine. Then you can produce the actionable insights, and you can embed those insights in. But if you're not creating that measurement, attribution, and the publishing back, then you're going to have your CFO go, well, how can I continue investing if I can't see exactly what is produced, right? And so it's that final piece of the rapid value cycle that we need to focus on. The reason why it's so important to focus on that final piece is it almost takes you right back through the process, like hitting rewind. If I start with the end in mind, I hit rewind and I go all the way back through the process, and I come back to identifying and forecasting. I know what my end goal is going to be. I have to measure and publish results. And so when I'm identifying initiatives, I know that this is what I'm aiming for, right? And so I have to find the right initiatives in the first place. The final piece of the puzzle that sits here right before we get to the CFO, we can do it in collaboration with the CFO, is to improve the value, right? So once I've got the measurement, the attribution, the publishing of the value, like on a data income statement, then I can use that asset to drive the improvement of value. So now I'm looking at initiatives, I'm looking at products, data products in my environment, I'm looking at the AI solutions that I've built, and I'm actually routinely monitoring. What are we currently generating in terms of value versus what we forecasted, right? And it's a simple financial report, right, that says actual versus budget, actual versus forecast. We're already doing this routinely in the business in other areas. This is just now bringing it into the data world through a data income statement, and this really makes your CFO excited because now we're addressing the key thing, which is how do we improve the value that we're generating from the analytics and AI initiatives that we have in play. And that's the rapid value cycle. It gets it puts at the front of the minds of those involved the primary objective, which is not to generate actionable insights only, it's to generate measurable value through data analytics and AI-led initiatives.